My name is Péter Kacsuk. I am working for SZTAKI, which is a Hungarian Research Institute for Computer Science. I'm leading the ELKH cloud project in Hungary, which is targeting Hungarian scientists, both in research institutes and universities, and also in industry. And based on this cloud, we have joined the SLICES program, and our main interest is to collaborate with other data centers and research institutes based on this Hungarian cloud system. In SLICES, our institute, SZTAKI, leads the Work Package 8 activities. And this activity is about to enable scientists of Europe to access the SLICES infrastructures. There are actually two ways of accessing the SLICES infrastructures. One is the so-called transnational access, in which case the scientists are actually really use the infrastructure, either personally going there or just remotely. And the other way is the virtual access, when they actually cannot access the infrastructure directly, but using the data which is collected on these infrastructures are available for the scientists. So these activities are really important because this is the way, or this is the reason why the whole SLICES infrastructure was actually established, and therefore these activities are very important, and our role to lead these activities is really important. The main issue here is that there are many S3 programs in Europe, but there was so far no S3 program which is supporting the development of digital infrastructures. And I think that this was a kind of issue in Europe in the last 10 years. And finally, by this program, the SLICES program, we managed to initiate a new program in Europe, which is really targeting the access of digital infrastructures in order to develop and do research in the field of information technology. This is extremely important because digital technology is the basis of all the other research infrastructure, and the way how the scientists now use the different other branches of science is really based on the digital infrastructures. Therefore, the development and research on these kind of infrastructures is extremely important. Well, in SLICES, we actually do research related to information technology. We not just provide this infrastructure for the scientists, but we ourselves do research as well on these kind of infrastructures. So in this area, we particularly target the networking issues. So wireless technology is very important. 5G and 6G technologies are intensively researched in SLICES, but also other kind of infrastructure types which are these days very important, like the fog edge cloud continuum. This is also very much investigated in the SLICES project. And other important direction is the data management, fair data management. How to solve in a fair way the storing and handling and processing data in a completely geographically distributed infrastructure. These are questions which are not solved yet, at least not 100%, and therefore any research in this area is very important. So in SLICES, we target all these very important infrastructure issues. Well, in Hungary, at the moment, we have many scientists using our infrastructure, ELKH cloud, which is the research cloud for the Hungarian scientists. And we experienced that, unfortunately, when the scientists try to use the cloud, sometimes the software infrastructure which they actually needed, and they have to install on this cloud system is very complicated. Sometimes so complicated that they spend months or even half a year to set up such a software infrastructure. So we thought that the primary issue to help the scientists in setting up their infrastructure, their software infrastructure in the cloud, and the best way to do that, if we create a kind of reference architectures for them, which are well prepared, targeting different important application areas and well-tested environments. And based on these environments, these reference architectures, the scientists can set up the infrastructure very quickly, just pressing the buttons several times and reading a little documentation how to do that, and that's it. So instead of spending of our time, weeks, months on learning information technology and how to use it on the cloud, simply using these reference architectures, they can very quickly set up the infrastructure environment they need. And just some examples what kind of infrastructure environments we provide for them. For example, big data environment, artificial intelligence environment, environment where they can submit batch-oriented activities, or Spark environment, and so on. So this is really those kind of very popular research environments which are used all over Europe by many scientists, and therefore this is very important for the Hungarian scientists as well. Now, learning this experience in Hungary, we think that this is very important for slices as well at European level, and therefore we now try to demonstrate that these reference architectures, what we develop for our cloud in Hungary, can be actually applied for the other slices facilities as well. So we systematically go through around these slices facilities, try and test these reference architectures, and then once we tested the reference architectures on these infrastructures as well, we are going to provide for other European infrastructures and European scientists as well. And for example, in the coming summer school in Oulu in Finland, we are going to present these reference architectures, the whole concept, and the examples what the users can do with it. The most important issue, I believe, in doing research in information technology is how to distribute the different infrastructure settings and how to combine these infrastructures which are set up in different countries. So the distributing aspect and integration aspect is very important. And in slices, we actually try to solve this issue that at the moment we have 12 different data centers which have more or less different kind of nature, different kind of characteristics. Some of them support 5G technology, some of them support IoT technology, some of them support cloud with GPUs, and so on. And somehow they should be combined in order to do real large experiments where all these kind of things are involved. Therefore, the integration in a distributed way, this is a very important aspect of slices. And once we solve this issue, this will be really an absolute important and usable facility all over Europe, both for researchers and industry. And here I would like to mention that we think that industry is really important. We had industrial application in the first open call of using the slices infrastructures, and it shows that even industry is very much interested in using slices. And just recently we decided to create a kind of survey to better understand what industry really would like to get from slices, what they think would be advantages for them if they want to use it. So I think that this is really an important direction in slices, and should be emphasized, because many people believe that S3 program is just for scientists. No, this is for industry as well, and we really put a lot of emphasis on supporting industrial developments and research as well. Well, I think that it is well known that there are other programs in Europe which are targeting research infrastructures. Probably the most important and well-known one is the EOSC program. And somehow, obviously we want to collaborate with EOSC, but we should also understand what is the difference between EOSC and the slices infrastructure. EOSC is basically providing infrastructure for end-user scientists who really want to use the infrastructure for their biology, chemistry, whatever application areas. They don't want to modify the infrastructure. Rather, contrary, they insist on having a very stable and more or less constant infrastructure in which they experience every day the same kind of environment. So they don't have to learn day by day the new environment. They can run their application exactly the same environment every day. This is very important for them. And on the other hand, in case of slices, we provide a very flexible infrastructure which can be modified if the scientists would like to modify. And of course, if you want to do research on digital technology, on information technology, then you have to modify this infrastructure. Otherwise, you cannot invent new things. You cannot try out new directions, a new concept on the digital infrastructure. So this is a very important feature of slices, that you've got the right to modify the infrastructure both in hardware and in software. And I think this is the main difference between EOSC and slices, and therefore slices is very important because this kind of flexible infrastructure usage possibility was not available in Europe yet. There are two very important future plans in Hungary. Actually, the first one is right now in progress. And this is to build a data repository infrastructure, not just providing scientists with a research facility which is supporting processing and computing, but also now we would like to extend this existing computing infrastructure with the possibility of storing, handling, archiving large set of scientific data. This is extremely important. Obviously, this is part of the EOS program as well. And once we establish this kind of extension of our cloud with the data repository infrastructure, this will be very much in line with the EOS concept. And of course, as I mentioned, EOSC and slices would like to collaborate in the future. And if we do this in Hungary, this could be a kind of bridge between the two infrastructure directions between EOSC and slices. So this is one very important aspect we are working on. And as we can foresee, this new infrastructure setting will be available for the Hungarian scientists by the end of this year. And then afterwards, from next year, we would like to open it for the slices users as well. The other important aspect we would like to work on the future is the extension of our infrastructure, or rather involvement in slices, in the sense that currently there is just one Hungarian infrastructure which is involved in slices. Now in the future we would like to achieve that the other Hungarian infrastructures which are available, and of course there are infrastructures in universities, in other research infrastructures and so on. So it would be important to involve these other infrastructures as well into the slices program. And of course we started negotiation with the leaders of these other infrastructures, and we hope that as a result of these negotiations, more and more Hungarian research facilities will join slices, will join the Hungarian node. We represent actually the Hungarian node, so they are going to join us, and then we can extend the usage of the slices program in Hungary in a substantial way. Thank you very much.